So the crypto markets have been a bit choppy. We have been nosediving recently, and most of the Twitter timeline, most of YouTube is extremely bearish. And the beacon of hope that we had, Alex Becker, who is so confident that we're going to get a crazy altcoin season that was going to 100x our net worths and retire us and have us all partying on yachts together, has finally faltered just a little bit. This is his tweet. He says, yes, we can crash even lower here. And so in this video, I want to go over Alex Becker's latest thesis out there on Twitter. Does he think the alt season is not coming and the bull market is over for even top tokens like Bitcoin? Or will we all meet, shake hands, and party on our yachts in just a few months' time? Let's jump in, starting with who is Alex Becker? Well, Alex Becker is probably one of the most influential, at least top 5 influential KOLs in crypto. He's got 1.3 million followers on X. He's got 1.6 million followers on his crypto channel on YouTube, and he gets hundreds of thousands of views on every single one of his videos, even when the market is not pumping. In 2021, if you followed him and his recommendations, you would have done extremely well. I know because I was there and I did extremely well from them in this bull market here in the 2021 peak, especially with the gaming cryptos. And all of his recommendations, this is why we study him on the channel, because this is, I mean, it's the same with stocks. You see someone like Elon talk about a stock and it will go up. But in crypto specifically, because these market caps are so low, if someone with Alex Becker's millions of followers talks about a token, it goes up tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And you can get a 10x just by being early in cryptos that Alex Becker liked. But he made tens of millions of dollars in 2021. He now wants to turn these tens of millions of dollars that he's got in AI, utility coins, and alts into hundreds of millions of dollars in the 2025, which we're coming to the end of 2025, ultra parabolic alt season, of which you're probably thinking, what everyone's thinking, where the hell is it? Now, even Becker says that of the tens of millions of crypto that he holds, he's down 15 million US dollars from recent highs. However, spoiler alert, guys, he is in fact still bullish. And I'll show you the full tweet that I cropped out at the start of this video and exactly Becker's thesis behind it. He says, this is the game. This is why many can't do it. Many people can't lose $15 million and be like, well, we're going to make it all back in a matter of weeks. Few could ever hope to be this retarded. They will call us lucky soon. We will laugh and tell them to deliver our Uber Eats for anyone who doubted Becker and doubted us. In fact, he thought last Saturday's absolutely absurd drop, some 80, sometimes 99% in top 100 cryptocurrencies where the liquidity went absolutely crazy and it was the biggest wipeout in crypto history. He says that was the hardest punch they could possibly hit the market with. In fact, the hardest punch in crypto history, which it was. Rumor is there's up to $400 billion of liquidations. And Bitcoin and ETH will be back at all-time highs in weeks, and then alts will follow that. Alt season, he believes, is still coming. The monster is not stopping. And this, if you are unaware of it, it is the bull market peak indicators, because everyone's like, oh my God, Bitcoin has just topped, altcoins didn't even run, but we are heading down the hill for another few years until we have the next 4-year cycle. And this was just a really suboptimal. In fact, most of the liquidity probably just flowed into gold anyway. And altcoin season and Bitcoin season is not coming. The top was 126K Bitcoin. We're not seeing 250K Bitcoin. We're not seeing those 100 extra turns on the alts anymore. Well, this here is a very technical breakdown on why most people who study crypto believe that's not true. They have 30 indicators that show historically when the top of bull markets are, and 0 of the 30 indicators, guys, have gone off. They believe we are not only not at the top, but not even close, so far from the top. However, this is cool, and I actually really like these metrics to track myself. There's one more important metric that Alex Becker believes in that for sure means we are definitely not at the top and we still have alt season and crazy opportunities ahead of us. And when I read this, I 100% agree with him. He says either the boomer and Uber driver population in the US is going to accurately call the next Great Depression to a T, meaning everyone who is bearish, which is 85 to 95% of people right now, are accurately calling the top, and we are going quickly downhill from here. Or, alternately, we're about to see an insane bull run. And he says, and this is the important part, there's no in between. We're going to go in crazy insane bull run, or we are going to go into a depression. And he says he's not betting on the normie peasants. People who believe, the Uber drivers and the entire boomer generation, who are believing that we're going to be sliding downhill extremely quickly, have never called a top in history. In fact, every crypto top, every stock market top was always accompanied with euphoria. Never were the majority of people accurately calling the top. And if you think 85 to 95% of people think that we've topped right now, well, you think they're calling it accurately for the first time in history. In fact, Becker thinks it's the opposite of a top is going down. This is a photo of people in Australia buying gold at the all-time price of $4,300 US per ounce, I believe, of gold. At the last crypto top, people lined up to buy monkey pictures, bored apes, for $450,000 and crapped all over anybody that thought it was a bad idea. That's what euphoria looks like, guys. $450,000 US dollars for one bored ape, one monkey picture. They did not line up to predict the Great Depression and invest responsibly, which is what is happening right now. People think the depression's coming from, they don't trust the currency, the Australian dollar, the US dollar, and they're trying to get into gold as it is running into its parabola. Buy everything crypto. These are the sheep. The sheep are not the ones who are always right. In fact, he says, do not follow the herd. There is more money being made and sidelined than ever before in history that is being controlled by the herd. The herd is following the herd right now. Following the herd at all-time high is how you make zero money in investing, which is talking about the herd going and buying gold. Going where the herd is ignoring is how you make the gravy big butt money. And he has been holding this conviction for so long. He says the way 95% of non-insiders made big money in crypto was buying small coins when they seemed dead and the market seemed like it was going to fall out of the sky. Then holding them at bad prices while being told they're wrong and stupid for years. Emphasis on this time frame, because a lot of people who are new in crypto don't understand how patient you need to be to see these massive parabolic growths. Then selling at 50x in a bull that no one thought would happen. This is the default way that most make it, but most on here have given up because the last year hasn't given them any easy gains. And even recently, yesterday, he tweeted out, before you make those 10, 20, 50, 100x gains, you should expect a long period, again, months to years, which we have been having, we're going through right now, where you are grinded down and not sure if it's all worth it. By default, if everyone makes it, no one makes it, guys. You have to weed out 95% of people before we can go parabolic, because otherwise, when we start going up, these 95% of people are going to sell and keep bringing the price down. They have to be shaken out before we go parabolic. This is the filter and why only 1% make it. Most won't push through. His advice to us is to push through the pain. And this is a Dogecoin journey that I broke down on the channel a couple of times. The $1 billion to a $100 billion market cap for Dogecoin, a 100x on your money that literally took 6 months to grind up. And not only in hindsight, do you look at it and be like, wow, up here, sideways, up here, pretty much sideways, down a little bit, and then up parabolic to a $100 billion market cap. When you zoom in and when you actually look at what the journey looked like, for example, this is part 4. Let's start with part 2 down here. This up and down, you would have turned $1,300 into $17,000 at the top of this candle and then run it all the way back to 4,200. You would have felt like a failure. This is the chop side, the chop and rocket. The rocket is what we're all waiting for. And then even, this is part 4, which is this part that looks real. Oh no, sorry, it's obviously part 5, this part that goes up and then down. It looks like you've made it. You turn that 4,200 to $46,000. Oh my God, I did it. We were right all along. Thank God we stuck to it. Just literally a few weeks later, you'd be back down to 11,000. Be like, you should have sold. You missed the top. That was the top. It looks like a top here, guys. Parabolic to 60 bill, then all the way back down the other side. What do you think people were saying at this point in time? And then, of course, that's when they went parabolic all the way to that $100 billion level, that 100x on Dogecoin. Alex Becker says, yes, we can crash even lower here. This was the tweet from the start. But it's an asymmetric bet that we're making. Prices could also 500x from here. And we could buy yachts, drugs, and tigers. Hold the bet. Your future exotic carnivorous cat will thank you. Now, there's a couple of things I want to point out here. And one thing that allows Becker to remain so bullish. He's down 15 million from recent highs. And Kaz says, how do you hold funds to buy dips like this? Or is your cost basis so low that it doesn't matter? Alex Becker responded with something really important and something that a lot of crypto traders don't have. He says, I make a couple $1 million a month running businesses. Not only that, but he has $140 million of assets from selling his company Hyros, or a percentage of his company Hyros. If you have a longer time horizon, these ups and downs will not shake you out. People who have a lot of money make more money in crypto because they don't care if they lose 80% in the short term, because they have a big stack of cash or a big lot of cash flow coming in every month to help them hold those positions and not be shaken out. And there's a lot of smart people on Twitter right now. Even though they're a much quieter minority, they are strongly believing that Alex Becker right now is right. Merlin, the trader, says that Bitcoin is lagging behind the global liquidity and gold. You can see gold absolutely ripping following global liquidity, and the US is set to have 2 more rate cuts. The odds are like 90% now, which means the M2 is going to continue to go up. And the theory is that Bitcoin, that has a really strong correlation to the M2, that has recently broken sideways, just like gold did, will catch up. Virtual Bacon says, the play is simple. Run up gold, make it look unstoppable, get every retail investor chasing the shiny rock, then move to the only real asymmetric trade left, Bitcoin. Bitcoin isn't dead, it's being suppressed on purpose. They want you to sell, they want you chasing golden stocks so they can accumulate in silence and then rotate in chaos. And in fact, guys, if you're looking at gold right now and seeing it running, the difference between Bitcoin and gold, because they're both a hedge against inflation, is that as the gold price skyrockets past 4,300 and potentially towards $5,000 per ounce, I believe it's an ounce, I don't actually know, of gold, more gold can be mined. There's a lot of gold still in the earth, and as the price skyrockets, it funds a lot of mining companies and a lot of people to go and mine it and increase the supply. The supply is normally increased by about 2% a year. If the gold price keeps going up, they're just going to increase 5%, 6%, 8% over a year, because it's worth them putting the investment in to mine that gold, and the supply is going to get bigger and bigger, and the price of gold will of course come down as the supply goes up. Bitcoin, on the other hand, as the price goes up and as people FOMO in and as people are lined up to buy Bitcoin, you can never make more Bitcoin. It has 21 million Bitcoin, and there is no reflexive stock to flow ratio that's going to go out and blow out just because the price of Bitcoin goes up. In fact, the world has never seen an asset like this, and then as Bitcoin absorbs all that buying power, that's when the liquidity will trickle down into altcoins. Oliver says, attention Bitcoiners, here we go again. We have 7 to 10 days maximum from today, which this is today, before one of the year's most epic price runs in Bitcoin. This is not hyperbole, it's simple maths and history. Just in case I'm right, you know what you should be doing right now. Stack Bitcoin harder. Even Murad, who we follow here on the channel, that's what we do. We follow the best traders in the world. So hit subscribe if you want to continue to follow them with us. Murad says that he is full bullish despite this pullback. And Becker says in 2020, people were wrong about altcoins for years. That in 6 months, they literally turned thousands of dollars into tens of millions of dollars in alts and NFTs. You only need to be right once, and we are about to be right.